Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Angela. I usually do videos on my hair, my lock journey. Stop doing that. I was thinking and contemplating about cutting them off because I'm not going to be spending the rest of my life trying to take them down just to save a couple of inches of hair. But then I said, you know what? You started this journey. Finish it till you can no longer. Retie your hair yourself. Or until your hair starts thinning, whatever it may be, just continue the journey. That's the journey you tried. Quick update on nursing. Today just finished another proctored benchmark foundations exam. This is week 12. We have 17 weeks. Well, really, week 17 will be our finals. I'm hopeful that I will pass into the 2300s with this third semester. But life is lifing, and I'm going through things, and I just gonna give God the glory whatever happens. Because I think about, when you're doing something and you are your only support system, you think about what would it mean? What are the benefits? You have to ask yourself some of those nursing questions. And, tomorrow is kind of like one of those days. My mom is 83. And I have to be the nurse and the daughter because she will be having a colonoscopy, which doesn't sound scary. It's just colonoscopy. But she is a survivor of colon cancer. 6 years ago, they discovered colon cancer. And so she was supposed to go in sooner. But, like I said, life be life. And time just goes by so fast. And so this is her appointment. I'm praying for no colon cancer because I think that just determines what I do further on. I'm a nurse already. The RN is just a couple of more initials. But today's video is not about either of those things because I'm just going to hand them over to the Lord. And I'm going to talk about prayer. Talk about personal relationship with God and just being more accountable because accountability is a big thing even in nursing. You're being more accountable to the Lord. The Lord wakes you up every day. He supplies all your needs, even wants. He may not come when you want him to, but he comes on time. And I think about the things that he's done for me. And I think about how dedicated Christ was on earth to prayer. And I think about the Bible telling us to don't cease without praying. Don't forget praying. Just pray at all times because life wouldn't be lifing if we were praying the way we need to be praying. We have other religions. I consider myself a Christian. We have other religions. They pray all the time. They're always praying. They're always in connection with their gods. And we can't be in connection with our God. And so I think about when Jesus was getting ready to be given up and he went to pray on the mountain and he told Peter and them, watch with me 1 hour, just 1 hour, and how difficult that was, that you they went to go sleep. They went to go do other things. Like, they couldn't watch with Jesus 1 hour. And the same is true for many of us. We can't pray 1 hour. Not praying for what we want, not praying for some need, not just praying, just the act of prayer. And so I don't know. So this is my thought. So I have two phones. Not one of them is not on, and this is my phone I use for nursing. I put all my nursing stuff, nursing apps, schedule stuff. I put it on there. That way I can't get no calls. It's on here. And my challenge, this is my challenge for myself. I don't know how long I'll do it for. Hopefully at least 30 days. And set an alarm for every waking hour that I'm awake during the day. So it's 12:58. And so what am I going to pray for every hour on the day? Well, as you might not know, many of you, I'm an author. I'm working on my 5th and 6th books today. I'm going to work on them today a little bit. I'm going to write a little bit. One is finished. I have a deadline of April 30th. The other one is nowhere near finished. But I'm going to share the book that I wrote, my first book in 2018. And that book is For We Are the Branches. In this book, and this is my edited copy, I share a prayer. Not a prayer, but what to pray every hour of the day. What am I going to be praying every hour of the day? And that's impossible, to pray every hour of the day. That's probably what Peter and them said. Jesus, I can't watch no hour. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Like, are you crazy? Like, okay, I'm down here at the bottom of the hill if you need us, So on page, I don't even know if in the original book it's on this page, but on page 160, it's times to pray and what you're praying about. So at 7 o'clock, you might get up earlier. You're praying for your day. At 8 o'clock, you're praying for your children and your family. You can separate the two if you choose. 9 a.m., you're praying for your church and your leaders. 10 a.m., you're praying for your city and your state. 11 a.m., you're praying for your co-workers. 12 p.m., your nation, your leaders. 1 p.m., any need that you may have or someone else may have, you're praying. 2 p.m., you're praying for your enemies, because I don't know anybody that ain't got none. Jesus had them. 3 p.m., those countries in war. 4 p.m., families torn apart. 5 p.m., people sick in a country. So you pick the country. It could be this country you live in. It could be somewhere in Ukraine, Russia. You pick the country where people are sick, because people are sick. 6 p.m., those suffering from mental illness or any disorder or any disease. It doesn't have to be mental illness. I know mental illness is the focus of today, but it could be anything. 7 p.m., pray for those in prisons, and not just people in physical prisons, people that are imprisoned in their minds and in their bodies. Like there's people physically in prisons that can't even leave their homes. They can't go out. They're locked up in a mental prison, 8 p.m., we want to pray for people that are homeless, people that we know that are living on the street or just without homes, and they may be living with somebody, but that's not their home. That's not where if they had a choice, that's not where they want to be. At 9 p.m., we're going to be praying for healing. You pick, you choose. This is your prayer. This is what you thinking someone may have need of. 10 p.m. You're going to pray for God to help you discover your walk and your purpose. Now, these don't have to be long, drawn-out prayers, because you ain't going to get no work done if you pray, unless you're not working. If you pray from that time to that time, you ain't going to get no work done. And I'm not saying pray the whole hour. You see your alarm go off, and aside from slinging the alarm across the room, because I get sick of my alarm going off in the morning when I know I got to get up and I got to wake. This is just a call for prayer. To get back into knowing God. You can even read your Bible. You don't necessarily have to even pray. I mean, you edit it to your life, to what you feel called to do. And let's not operate in our feelings, but what you think would be best in your life. You can jumble up what you pray for. Why pray for the leaders of our country? Because one, we need prayer in leadership. And God answers all prayers. You might not see nothing change. You may not, in your lifetime, you might do this for 30 days and see nothing change. I'm not making any false claims and saying that, oh yeah, your life will change. But it will. It'll get you closer to Christ. It'll get you closer to God. Because there's not a moment, there's not a second, a minute that God doesn't say, I'm going to keep her alive for 24 hours a day, even while she sleeps. And so you look at that hour as, I'm doing what God has already told me to do. He said, pray without ceasing. It could be a quick prayer. I want to just pray for my brother. I want to pray for my mom or my dad. Just something quick. When you hear the alarm, you hear the bell, you can set your phone to vibrate. You might get sick of that alarm. I'm telling you, you are going to get sick of that alarm. Other people probably gonna get sick. Like, why your alarm keep going off? Are you that important? Or, they might not know it's your alarm. They might just think somebody calling you. But I challenge you to just pray every hour that you are awake, because we don't even have to challenge God to say, God, I want you to keep me awake for the next 24 hours. He just does the thing. And so whatever you feel compelled to do for your hour of prayer or your daily prayer or whatever it is, you do that. It's totally up to you. It's customizable up to you. But it's to get you back into doing the thing that God has already told you to do. Pray. He also told us to fast. I didn't put fasting in this particular thing. But, I'm just, so many people around the world, and I'll just say the religion, Muslims, they just celebrated Ramadan. And they fasted from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Many of them did. I ain't gonna say all of them did, but many of them did for 30 days, or it was 31 days in last month. And they did that for God. Or they might still be fasting. I'm not sure exactly when Ramadan ends. But they did that for their God. Why can't we do it for the God that we serve? Why can't we do the thing He told us to do and then at the end of the day, we're expecting miracles. This is not a hourly prayer to be praying, say, God, send me a husband. God, send me a new car, a new house, a new job, some more money. I mean, there is a thing for need, but consider your need. If God has brought you this far, and God has brought me 54 years, I've been homeless in my life. 3 times. I've been homeless 3 times. Not on the street, literally. And thank to God above that it has not been. I have been broke. I've been down and out. I have been alone and by myself, and felt like, well, where is God? He is still there. He's still listening. You go through seasons in life, but if you go through those seasons in life without God, they are harder. I'm just here to testify. Lord knows it's hard. I've lost people. I've lost a child, and if it was not for God watching over me for that hour or 2 or 3 years, if it was not for God just being there, I don't know how I would have made it through. And so if he can be there for me, and I'm nobody, or at least nobody to other people, but I know I'm somebody to him, why can't I dedicate my life to him? This is the FYI, the alert. You're going to get sick of hearing this phone. I know you're going to get sick of hearing this phone, because I'm going to get sick of hearing this phone. If you decide to do this, you're going to get sick of hearing this phone just go ding, ding, ding. So if you got an extra phone going off around the house and that alarm go off and you be like, Lord, it's time to pray again, don't do it. Because it's to draw you closer to him. Many of us, and myself included, we wake up, we don't pray. We go to bed, we don't pray. We eat meals, we don't pray. We're driving on the roads, we don't pray. We don't think about prayer. We don't think about how important prayer should be in our lives until something happens. And unfortunately, something will happen to us all. Good, bad, indifferent. Something will happen all the time. And so the Bible is our blueprint for how we should live our lives. Prayer is just the glue that holds it all together. And I just made that up. But it is. You should always be talking to God. You want to know who he is. He knows who you are. You want to know who he is. You don't have to know the names of your leaders. You don't have to know the names of people that are homeless. You don't have to know anything. God knows all things. And because he knows all things, he hears all prayers. And so that's my challenge to you. It's something that I felt led to do today of all days. I have no clue why. But just pray. This is, this might be praying season because, Easter is coming up, and Pentecost will be coming shortly after. But this is the time to dedicate your life to God. He never stops thinking of you. You never stop doing the things that he has told you to do. These are not options. Praying without ceasing is not, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. It's not. because you don't know the day or the hour that you are here on this earth. Nobody does. Boy, if I knew the day or the hour, I would be up out of this camp. But you know, my biggest purpose in praying is that I don't want to get to heaven and be ringing a bell and God says, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." Could you imagine going over somebody's house that you thought you knew, but you didn't know, and they tell you, "I don't know who you are. Could you please get away from my house before I call the police?" And that's what, unfortunately, God will tell many of us. This does not impress God, praying that much. But sometimes you need to do something so, I want to say spectacular, but something so drastic to pull that external man away from the internal one so that you can get your priorities straight. You know, we make it to work every day on time, hopefully. We make it to class on time. I've never missed, I missed a couple of classes, but I rarely miss work. I rarely try and miss paying bills. Though we do external things where we're not going to get any reward, but we won't do the hard, it seemed like hard stuff, but it's not really hard. We won't do the work of getting to know who Christ is, and that's where we will spend our eternity with Christ. The degrees, the diplomas, the money, the relationships, all of that will fail. It'll fall by the wayside. But your relationship that you have with God will be forever. Forever. And so my challenge again to you is 1 hour. Small prayer. Praying for a need. Praying even for yourself. Read the Bible, whatever it is. Read a one-line scripture, whatever it is. Get in the habit. Your eternity depends on it. And that's all that I have to say. I pray that you will be blessed. I pray that you will grow. I pray that God will bless you. And I just pray that you keep the faith. And know at the end of all of this, it won't be for nothing. It'll be for something. It will be for God's glory. And so have a blessed day. Bye-bye.